All right, so here we go again. We've got our Vali Instant Door and Window. Any of these plugins. Well, let's go head over to valiarchitects.com, and I'll just show you where you can pick these up. SketchUp scripts, and he has this thing, Instant Architecture. It's pretty much every extension that he makes, and we're going to be using for this project. Definitely going to use this instant door and window, and then I use instant fence and railing all the time. That's definitely like for $118 just for instant fence and railing would be well worth it to me. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to use instant cladding because we can create these board and batten sidings really quickly and easily. So instant fence and railing, door and window, instant cladding, those are the three we're going to use. And then instant road is killer. Instant roof, a lot of people like that, and all these different instant plugins are pretty powerful. You got to dig in there, watch the tutorials, but they're really powerful. So give them a shot. All right, so for instant door and window, I had to kind of tinker with this just a touch to remind myself of how to use it, and I'll give you the quick lesson. Basically, you need to have a rectangle that is a group, and then you need a surface. And I found that the easiest way to do this is to double click, hold Control and Shift, remove that rectangle from the selection. Then hit G. That's my keyboard shortcut. So now, my group is created. That group is only a rectangle, no surface. All right. Then I'm going to hold Control and select this surface. So in order to make instant door and window work properly, you need to have a group with just a rectangle and a surface for where this is going to land on. Let me show you what happens if I don't do that. I'll hit Create Door and Window Size from Rectangle. So it says selection must include a group with a rectangle plus the face to place the door and window on. All right, and then it's going to switch to our default mode. We don't want that. So what I found is that you create this this group the way I showed you, and it remains selected, and then you just add the selection. So now I'm going to it's kind of tricky to select that group. So to make that selection again, I'm going to draw a selection window from right to left, which is going to select everything that my dashed line touches. Then I'm going to hold Control and Shift and triple click on this surface. Now you kind of see that green haze there, and so that group is selected. You can also see that up here we have one group selected. I'll hold Control, add the surface to the selection. Now it's go time. So we're going to create door and window, and we're going to size it from the rectangle. I think that's a really cool feature that you can size it from the rectangle, because otherwise, if you're just kind of doing this create door and window, you got to type in the dimensions. And if you're loosely modeling, you just want it to look right, you just select the rectangle. It's killer. All right. So now I had to tinker a little bit. Like I said, you got to find the window that's going to best match what it is that you're doing. I think I ended up on this window because, and let me close this. Let's go back and just look at this window real quick. You can see that it's got like one vertical on top and one vertical on bottom. All right. So we'll hit this again, and we'll go back here, and we're going to select, this one is about as close as it gets, I think. All right. So now we've got that one selected, and then you can select the parameters. All right. And it seemed to me that like I only wanted a 3D window. I didn't want it to be the double wall. And you get these little diagrams going on that kind of show you what it's talking about. I found it to just be hard to make a double wall work the way I want it to work. So we're just going to do a simple 3D. So it's only kind of facing outside. And then we have we can look at there's all these different parameters. You can look at your window. Right now we have, let's see, he calls it single hung. So that's fine. I think that's good. The one thing I wanted to change was I don't want, for the grid, I want a vertical, but I don't want a horizontal. So I'm going to set that to 0. And the other thing I found to be useful is the frame type. And so the brick mold, if I click this, you get a visual. Now the brick mold is, it's kind of the default, and one of these is called brick mold. And so I found that like just kind of a simple flat was kind of a better look, and that let's try it. You can always undo it. All right, so we're just gonna do flat trim, and then I'm not gonna. We'll leave this sill on. Let's see what we get. Sometimes it's good just to hit the button and get something out, and then make a decision after that. All right, so we'll say make door window. That's kind of this final button down here, and let's see what we get. Look at that. Pretty slick, So it just took the measurements from that rectangle, and then it created a window based on it. And let's go back to our match photo scene, and so I think I'm gonna get rid of the sill, because it would appear that there's just kind of this one trim piece that goes around the whole thing. And so I'm gonna uncheck the sill, and I'm gonna use we'll build our own trim piece. Maybe we'll use Profile Builder for that. So anyway, so let's orbit. I'm gonna hit undo, Control Z, and we'll do our selection again. And then we're gonna go back, and this time we're going to go to our parameters and uncheck our sill. All right, and then I can click, and all of my parameters stay the same, so I can just click, make door window again. So now I have no sill here, and then it's gonna make it kind of easy for me to run around this thing and create a trim piece, and then we'll make kind of a header that matches this style that we've got going on. So you got your window, and then we'll just run like a trim piece around it, and we'll have to build our headers. So that looks good to me, All right, so here's what's cool, is that now you can like double click, remove this from the selection, group it, add this surface to the selection, and let's just hit go, make door window, like that. And see, that's a different size window. And so we're gonna use all the same windows like this, and I'll just say make door window. I suppose I could have just, I don't know if that's a component. It is a component, whatever. You could reuse that component, but we're good there. All right, so now I've got those windows, and now the next batch of windows are like God, whatever you call this one. There's two windows next to each other. And so for this one, I'm going to need to change the parameters. So notice that I knocked out the windows that were the same. And so now I'm going to do the other, like this one back here, this window, and this window. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these middle lines like that. And I guess we'll just work on this one. All right, and so I'll do the same thing, make my group, select my surface, and hit create door window from rectangle. But let me look at this again. Yeah, it's a I don't even know if I guess it's more of a fixed window, but we're just gonna run with the same style, and we're just gonna call one vertical in each. And I think that's going to get us real close to the look that we want. One vertical in each, one vertical in each. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. All right, so we'll click create door window size from rectangle. And this time we're going to go to our parameters, and I'm going to go to, I think it's the main, and see, instead of doing one, we're going to do two. So you have all these options on how to lay this out. I will say that too, that like at one point, I was messing with the instant railing. I went through all the parameters. I was blown away at what I could do with it. So anyway, well worth digging in on this stuff. Not exactly what we're doing right now. 90% of the time, I just need to get stuff out the door. So we're good there. And then our grid, we're going to have one vertical, and I think that's it. All right, let's just say make door window. Yeah. So now we have like kind of the main, 2 windows with verticals in each. So we have 2 windows with verticals in each. And even though we're getting this kind of double, I thought that was a double hung. Maybe I'm wrong. But even though that's not the case here, I'm cool with it. It looks the way it should. Let's see. What do the other windows do? That's kind of the same. Yeah, these are almost like casement windows, I suppose. I don't think that one is. I'm good with it. I'm just trying to get the right look, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. If we're gonna get this thing done in a reasonable amount of time, you could spend hours and hours on any SketchUp model. You got to know where to draw the line on details, and I can tell you that that's going to look right. Nobody's going to know the difference. So all I need to do is group this, add to the selection, hit my create door and window size from rectangle. All of the parameters are already set up, so we'll make that one into a window, and then go over here and make this a group. Remember, it's a group holding just the line work. Add the surface, and then you can hit go like that. So there we go. All right, so you can see how instant door and window, all the instant architecture tools are super powerful. Definitely head over to valiarchitects.com, give it a shot. And like I said, for $120 or whatever it is, you get all of them for the year, and it's a no-brainer. You just take them all. Don't piecemeal them, because there's just each one of them solves a really big problem. And if you take the time to learn them, it will make you infinitely faster with SketchUp. So where we're at now, we've got our doors and windows on there. I think I did see that the instant door and window does have a garage door in it. I had a little bit of trouble with that. Yeah, we'll use it. Let's give it a shot. And I know why I had trouble with this, because my rectangle was broken up, and so we're going to run through it and give it a shot here. And I think I know how to fix it and make it work. If it doesn't work, garage doors are super easy to build. And so we're going to run through, we'll knock out our garage door and our front door and our back doors. And let's try to hustle through that stuff. We're right at 40 minutes on this session. So we'll zip through the rest of our doors, and then let's get to texturing and trim and move on. Let's get this thing knocked out. So let's get to it. If you like this video, click the BD button to subscribe to our channel. Every week we post new videos covering SketchUp, layout, Lumion, and our Condoc Tools extension. If you are a professional architect or interior designer, you're going to love our tutorials.